Welcome to the Sheffield United way. I am Hal. I am in slightly different surroundings. Oh, isn't this exciting? I'm actually having to record from work today. The playoff-bound Blades versus the playoff hopefuls Blackburn Rovers, a 12:30 p.m. kickoff at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane on Saturday.
Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole.
It's going to be exciting, actually, isn't it? All the games kicking off as they do that final day at the same time, on the same day, crucially. And it's not quite the same as it used to be in the good old days when everything was better, where you didn't really know what was going on. Nowadays, everyone's going to get an update, aren't they, on their phone. It's going to be almost impossible not to know what's going on. It was kind of exciting back in the day when you genuinely didn't know. And it was like maybe results coming in, flashing on the screen, which I used to like, actually. But it'll probably now be people whispering about it as they get the live score update. I've got to say, though, welcome to the Sheffield United way in like a first way of introducing this properly. And a little quick recap, as we always do, of our previous match, which was Stoke City away. And a good win. Sam McCallum, Andre Brooks, the goal scorers. Should we have seen more of both of these players throughout the season? The question also could be, will we see more of them as we head into the final game and then the inevitable playoffs? I think Brooks has been really unlucky. Wilder's spoken about previously in the season. Perhaps he hasn't trained as well to deserve that place, but we saw what he can do. Remember that somersault was at Watford away? He got a lot in his locker. He's a really exciting player. He's a blade. He's come through the youth setup, which, some people say, oh, that gives them a little bit more time. And maybe it does with some fans. It gives them that little bit more time to make mistakes and to learn from them. McCallum, he rises like a salmon. His hair looks different every time we see him. He can't cross. We saw that against Stoke. But he's brave. And we also saw that against Stoke. And he's really brave. He likes to win almost everything in the air. He's not afraid to put his head where it will hurt. He's tough. I don't know if he's got the quality of the best left-back in the league, Harrison Burrows. But as a left-back backup, I don't think at championship level you could find a better one. If we go up, I don't know if he will have exactly what it takes for the Premier League. But hey, that's a problem that we may or may not have to worry about as we do head into the playoffs. Now, before we go any further, thanks to our video sponsors, Panenka Bar and Grill. Panenka is a stunning premium bar set over 2 floors with 2 bars, separate restaurant space with luxury unique VIP boxes, which are available for private hire. Panenka truly is Sheffield's ultimate social experience. Panenka is also, it's ours, Sheffield United Way's designated pre- and post-match bar of choice, which means it's the best in the world. All the live matches are on. It is the perfect place to meet friends and family before a home game. You make that short walk onto Bramall Lane. You'll find Panenka at the entrance to New Era Square. Let's talk about the team for this Blackburn Rovers game for United. We might see a squad rotation as fringe players try to stake a claim for the playoffs. We know Gus Harmer, with those bookings away from a suspension, he watched Stoke victory in the stands because of that. He did it with the fans. Love seeing that. Love seeing players watch games with the fans. They get that cult status. I remember Paul Ince doing it with Inter Milan fans on Football Italia. They absolutely loved him and still do. But do we go with a strong side? Do we bring Harmer back in? Do we go with 2 up front again? It seems to have actually looked quite good. And I think Cooper, we know, is going to be in goal. But then it gets a little bit more interesting. So I'll go through what I think it'll be, but then I'll throw in some options. So 𝗍𝗫𝗍, Robinson, Holding, McCallum, Brewster, Peck, Chowdhury, O'Hare, Campbell, Kiefer, Moore. But if we go back through that, 𝗍𝗫𝗍, good going forward, but is it time to see Gilchrist again after his fitness battle so he can get a little bit up to speed? Robinson played really well, I thought, against Stoke, but Arnell could come back in because we probably do need to see more of Arnell Holding as we go into the really important games. Brewster or Brooks, because I've already spoken about Brooks. He is that live wire. He's an exciting player. He can do the spectacular. He can score with his first touch. Brewster, seemingly, can't. But Brewster played really well and was sort of showing us what Rhian Brewster's all about in that Stoke match. We've seen a few opportunities this season that he's been given. He's grabbed them with both hands and he's looked a lot more confident and a lot better. And I think a lot of fans have actually started to take to Rhian Brewster, certainly some that didn't before. So you feel like maybe you can't drop him after a man-of-the-match performance in the previous match. But maybe you change things up slightly because you can play Brooks in the middle. We saw that in the Premier League. Campbell, Kiefer, Moore, or do we give Cannon minutes? I don't know. It feels like Tom Cannon was a little bit unlucky to be dropped after he played quite well against Burnley. I think Vinny needs a break. That's why I've not put him in there. I expect to see, of course, him in the playoffs. I think Brooks, again, will be coming off the bench as well as Cannon. That's what I think will happen. I've gone with that lineup for that reason. Disagree, like what you see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, before we go into our opposition team view, I want to give huge thanks to 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗵, a virtual band. Many of their members are Sheffield United supporters, which is brilliant. Check out 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗵.com. You can still listen to the album Tall Tales of 10 Girls. It's really good. It's on regular rotation with us at Sheff United Way Towers. They are releasing music with a new album coming soon called Pop Songs Your Mum Would Like. Because, of course, when you think about football, you think about Blackburn Rovers, you think about in preview sponsorship. You think about pop songs and you think about what songs your mum would enjoy, obviously. But, lovely songs for lovely mums. And Every Day Now Is a Gift is really good. That's one of the first singles they've released early from that album. And it's a song that I think most people with an eclectic music taste will enjoy. Now, for the opposition view, we've got Dirk from 𝗍𝗿𝗲𝗍.
So Blackburn Rovers taking on Sheffield United this weekend in a monumental game for Blackburn Rovers. Of course, it's not much of a game really for Sheffield United, just trying to keep the wheels moving, keep the momentum moving before the real stuff takes place. But Rovers coming into this on good bit of form right now. 4 wins on the spin, unbeaten in the last 5. And 𝗣𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗶 slowly got a tune out of this makeshift team. We are still riddled with a few injuries and some obvious omissions. Of course, the first one being the goalkeeper, 𝗍𝗫𝗄𝗃, number 1 throughout the season, been kind of put on the back burner of late. Not too sure why that is, if that's because his future lies elsewhere next season. So 𝗍𝗵𝗲 will continue to be in goal, who's done an okay job, a little bit risky between the sticks. Other obvious injuries, Harry Pickering is coming back from an injury. He's been on the bench for the last few games, yet to get a minute, though, in those last few games. Scotty Wharton's a long-time injury. 𝗪𝗏 also one of our leading guys up top, was injured last time around. Not too sure where he stands with this weekend. It might have been precautionary because there was talk about a neck brace involved, so I'm not too sure how serious that is. But again, he hasn't featured in the last match anyway. So, we're getting back to some form of full strength, but there's been this recent bit of form has kind of separated the wheat from the chaff. I think that's a proper expression. Some of the guys really haven't stepped up to the plate and have been left out of the squad and have been replaced by academy players to fill the void. So certain players that I think their future is already lying elsewhere next season under 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗍's new regime here. But anyway, I digress. Starting 11 will pretty much be very, very close to that of the game that did take place against Watford the other day. It'll be 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗍 between the sticks, probably Ribeiro at left back. Then we have Dom Hyam at the back, centre back pairing with Danny Bart. The two have got a brother from another mother sort of kind of partnership there. They just read each other's minds. It's a good partnership that we want to see continue next season. Of course, a right back should be Callum Britton. Again, he was back last time. Didn't have the best game last time, but he was back and has been one of our standout players throughout the season. Then we go into the midfield area. We have the 2 defensive-minded midfielders in Sondre Tronstad on Norwegian. And then we have our captain, Lewis Travis, who can be a bit of a shithouse merchant, and that was on full display last time around. Then we go to the difficult part of the pitch here. It's the 3 supporting the main man up top. So who's going to be in that attacking trio? Of late, it's been Dolan, who is our main contract dispute, who looks like he's played his last home game at Blackburn Rovers last time around. Is a guy who on his day can be unplayable, really can be a player. He's got all the tricks in the locker, a bit of a show pony, but for the majority of the season he was a bit 50-50, but the last month or so, I don't know, I think he's probably got his moves signed up next season. He's just playing out of his skin and he looks like a player reborn. And honestly, if the season started 6 weeks ago, he would be player of the season quality. He's been ripping it up, and maybe this is his fond farewell for Rovers by maybe steering us to a cheeky victory at Bramall Lane. But anyway, he will play. I would expect Hedges will play. I think he's Valérien Ismaël's love child or something like that. He's got nothing wrong in 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗍's eyes against the Blackburn Rovers fan base. Hedges is living off of a wonder goal against Watford for a little bit, but he seems to must make a cracking cup of tea or something like that. So he's in 𝗍𝗿𝗲's plans for next season already. He's already stated that. So he'll probably start. Dolan will start. I think Cantwell will be in the middle. Again, this is big game terminology here now. If you want a guy to get the headlines, Cantwell probably is the man. So he will play. He played a blinder last time around, scored his first open play goal last time around, and of course created the other. So I don't think you would change that. And then up top, it's got to be 𝗬𝗍𝗗𝐻𝗕. He runs like a lunatic, just gives everything 100%. So I think it'd be pretty much as you were. The only question mark for me would be, will Pickering come back in at left back? Because Ribeiro, since he's joined us in January, has played every bloody minute. So that's it. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could offer us something from the bench. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, again, one of Van Meersmel's sort of blasts from the past from his Barnsley days, could feature as well. But realistically, I think we've got to stick with what we got. 4 wins on the bounce, unbeaten now in 5. Do I think we'll get anything out of this game against Sheffield United? You know what? I don't know. I don't know if I'm drinking the Kool-Aid just yet or getting a little bit foggy, but we owe you guys one. We owe you probably a few, actually, because we remember celebrating very early in that FA Cup quarter-final not too long ago, and then we got our asses handed to us on a plate. You guys may be technically on the beach, but I do know that you want a bit of momentum going into those playoffs in what could be the first of 3 back-to-back games between ourselves. So, I honestly think Rovers can get something out of this. A draw won't be enough. We have to win it if we're going to gate crash that top 6. And I'm going to stick my neck out, stupidly as I am. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm getting washed away with the momentum here, washed away with the enthusiasm, and I think we'll win this game. I think we'll win 2-1. It will be limbs at the way end, and it'll be limbs right here on my seat, and probably limbs in my underpants. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 with Rovers, but will that be enough to gate crash the top 6? That's a story for another day. So that's my take. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon next, very, very soon, in fact, in those playoffs. But until then, that's me, Dirk, and I'm out of here.
Referee for this one, Sheffield United versus Blackburn, is 𝗲𝗏𝗏. Hallam is currently in his 3rd season as a referee, relatively new to it. He's taken charge of a whopping 39 games this season. That's a lot. That's the most I've covered this season by far for any referee. So give the guy a break, EFL. He's given 125 yellows, 3 reds, and one of those was a second yellow, and 5 pens. He was the man in the middle for our 2-0 home win against Plymouth, where he gave one of those 5 penalties. This was his first ever United match. He hasn't refereed any Blades games since, but he has refereed Blackburn Rovers twice. They beat Portsmouth 4-0 at home, and they lost to Stoke away 1-0. So we can't really read anything into that. If you win one and lose one, it certainly doesn't seem to favour them. Now we come to our player connections. As always, I go for 4 players that have played for both. Blackburn youth player, James 𝗏𝗏𝗏. He did make 4 league appearances for Rovers between 1996 and 1998 before moving to Southampton, where it all really clicked for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He joined United, became a firm fans' favourite in 2007, scoring an incredible 34 goals in 62 league games and some memorable ones in there as well. He rejoined United in 2011, but less said about that, the better. He got more red cards than goals. Alan Wright, the left-back, a great height for a man. Between 1991 and 1995, he was at Blackburn playing 74 times, scoring once. He joined United initially on loan in 2003, signing permanently on the 12th of January 2004. He scored his first goal for United and his only goal in a 2-1 loss against Nottingham Forest on the 3rd of April 2004. Now, he did make 42 league appearances for the Blades in total. He left in 2007 for Cheltenham Town after it looked like we tried to get rid of him for a long time. He went out on 5 loan spells away from the club before finally getting that Cheltenham move. Friend of the channel, check out our podcast with Mark Patterson. Now, 59 appearances, 59 years old, but he made 101 appearances and scored 20 times for boyhood Blackburn. I've written too many numbers here, and that was between 1983 and 1988. He joined Howard Kendall's Sheffield United and became club captain in 1995, remaining with the club until 1997, scored 4 in 73 league appearances. Bit of a Marmite figure, I think, Mark Patterson, it's fair to say. Some fans didn't rate him. Some thought he was a very, very good midfielder. Did play on the left wing, not for United, did for Blackburn, central midfielder for the Blades. And finally, Nicky Marker, a former Blades player of the season. Nicky Robert Thomas Marker, now 59, same age as Mark Patterson, but I butchered that when I tried to say it. A centre-back or midfielder, a really good pro, I liked Nicky Marker. He played 54 league matches for Blackburn, scoring once between 1992 and 1997. Very much a squad player. He arrived at United for a couple of seasons and actually scored 5 in 62. Who else can you think of? And I didn't want to say the obvious, but you can put it in the comments. Now we come to our score prediction, and if you'd like your score prediction shared here and to receive a host of other benefits and really support the lads, if you like Sheffield United Way, if you like us, it'd be great if you actually showed that with some support because it really would help us. Patreon.com/Sheffield United Way. It helps us to continue to do what we do. Like right now, I'm actually in a different country. I won't say which one. You can try and guess. Pop that in the comments as well. I'm not in Cyprus anymore. And I've had to bring all my kit with me. But I also had to bring all my kit for work. And it was absolutely ridiculous because I had to decide, right, which one of these is going to go in the hold? Which one of these is going to come in my hand luggage? Because the hand luggage was too heavy. When I actually got to the airport, they weighed it. They were like, it can only be 6 kilograms. It was like 21 kilograms. I was like, oh, it's for YouTube stuff. They were like, oh, are you a YouTuber? I was like, don't ever call me that. But no, then I had to put stuff in my whole luggage. And obviously I chose the work stuff. It was all fine. But, anything would help. Because if I could have just paid the extra for the excess, that would have been really great. But I couldn't. And I wasn't going to. It's a matter of principle as well. In fact, I'd never do that even if I had 1 billion Patreons. It really is principle. Score predictions. June thinks we'll win 2-0. So does Joy. So does Paul. Matt says 2-0, going with Brewster and Anel scoring. Ash is going bold with 3-0. Richard agrees, adding that Jeff to bag off the bench. That is 𝗣𝗿𝗲𝗲. Michael thinks we draw this one 1-1, saying we know we play the following Thursday, and potentially that would be against Blackburn Rovers. So lots of changes and a draw. I can see that scoreline playing out, to be fair. Greg predicts a 0-0. And to end on a high, I didn't want to end on a 0-0. Lewis believes it'll be 4-1 Blades. Cannon getting a brace. Campbell getting a brace in your face. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this little preview of the Blades.